Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Got some records out from the library. I've had them for a week now, so I've had some time to listen to them. I thought I'd show you guys what I picked up. I was sort of in the mood for like world music. I'm going to call it world music, but I do hate that term, or something like that. So our local library, I've mentioned before, has a big collection of records that you can pull out, and it's all mainly new stuff, new releases or new reissues of things. It's not like there's boxes of old dusty things like that. There's generally really interesting new stuff in there. So I went down last weekend and grabbed a whole bunch of stuff I felt listening to. Got it all here. I'm going to show you what I picked up. I'll put something on the background, add a bit of ambience. This is what's playing. This is Orchestra Baobab. This is a record that I've seen around a fair bit. I've always sort of been intrigued by the cover. For some reason I always thought it was Cuban or something like that, but you know, that baobab is actually an African tree. So these guys are from Senegal. I'll just turn it down a little bit. And they were active in the 70s, but this is a release from a couple of years ago, new music. It's nice. I mean, it's weird that the side 2 of this sounds like a very Latin influence, like a Latin record. The first side has a couple of traditional African sort of things. It's nice. It's nice. It's worth a listen. It's definitely enjoyable. It just doesn't have an X factor for me. There's nothing distinguishing. It's completely pleasant. It could work really well as background music. There's nothing that grabs me, but I enjoyed it, and I'm grateful to be able to check them out from the library. Okay, next one up. Tindersticks. This is their release from, I think, was it last year, 2017? Yeah. I've heard their earlier stuff, but I hadn't heard this. What got my attention was I could see that Mark Lanegan and Kurt Weill, Mark Lanegan sings on this, and Kurt Weill plays guitar in some of this, which I was like, what is that? So I thought I'd check it out. The library has described it as World Arabs. This is my favorite of the ones I took out from the library. The guitar is absolutely killer. It almost reminds me of bits of Dirty 3 in some parts. The first side, the first two sides of the two LPs, I was absolutely hooked. It got a bit of a drag on the second disc, but I really enjoyed it. This artwork is absolutely stunning as well. Yeah, a really nice listen. There you go. Yeah, the Mark Lanegan one worked way better than it should, surprisingly. Okay, we'll go to this one. This one I didn't know anything about, but the description sort of made me very interested in it. This is by Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan. The album's called Must Must, and this is a seminal exploration into contemporary music produced by Michael Brook with a remix for Massive Attack. So this is traditional Pakistani music mixed with what was contemporary. So this was released in 1990 originally. This is a reissue from last year. So I suppose around 1990, world music was having a big resurgence. It was the cool thing. Everyone wanted a slice of the pie. So I don't know. It's for me, the 90s production. There's tinges, or more than tinges, of a production that sounds to my ears very of its time. And it just puts me off a little bit. I think if this was a lot more traditional Pakistani, I probably would get into it more. It is beautiful. It's a really nice, rolling, lush, atmospheric record. But just things in the production just pulled me out of that zone, and I was like, oh, why have they chose to use that? Just, I don't know, some strange keyboards, ambient keyboards that just sound very dated. Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to like a lot more than I did. I do appreciate it, and it's a very nice listen, but some things just put me off a bit. Yeah, so there we go. It came out in 1990. This was a reissue from, I think, last year on Real World Records. There you go. Oh, also, the Massive Attack remix is absolutely terrible. It could be... I don't know what... I don't know. It's like they've just taken one of the songs and just put a beat behind it. It just... I don't know. It just reminds me of, like, New Age. It gets into a bit of, like... just... I don't know. Cafe world music or something. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It just reminds me of, yeah... it sounds like when the 90s world resurgence. I don't know, something doesn't sit right with me with that one. But again, I would never have heard of it if I didn't get to go to the library. Okay, this one. Yoruba. So, I didn't know anything about this. I saw it was a new release on Soul Jazz. I saw it's from Nigeria. I thought I'd check it out. Now, what this is, the Yoruba... The cool thing about this is it contains the gatefold and it has all this information about the Yoruba people and how they're an ancient tribe or more of a group of people that identify in a similar way, and they're spread all around the world, which was really cool to learn about. I found out that this is actually a new modern recording of traditional Yoruba music. Recorded at a studio I think it was last year. Doing traditional Yoruban songs and dances. Sorry, and yeah, I guess dances and rhythms and stuff. So I feel like I'm being very negative in this video, but it all does sound the same. It's like primitive drumming and chanting with not much variation. It's two LPs. I don't think it's a strong release by Soul Jazz. I do appreciate learning. The coolest part was learning about the Yoruba because I had no idea what that was. But it's also weird hearing this music recorded in a modern way. And I don't know how I feel about it. It is just, honestly, four sides of chanting and singing and drum patterns. But it's not like beautiful, gorgeous singing, or it's not interesting enough that's different. Or the drumming isn't weird or strange, or it's just, I don't know, it's like, it obviously means something to the Yoruba people. So maybe it's just because it's so far out of context, I don't understand it, or something like that. Anyway, that was my thoughts on that one. And I'm going to keep being negative, apparently. I think the first two that I showed were my favorites. I am smiling because I have rented this out twice from the library now. This is the third time. And I've listened to it online quite a bit, and I'm just not getting it. I'm getting it, but this gets a lot of hype. I mean, just about everybody in the VC has called this the reissue of the year for last year. By all reasoning, I should love this record. It's right in my zone. I think this is the point where I'm not going to try any further with this. The most interesting side for me is side 3, where it breaks away from the same formula of... Like apart from side 3, everything else to me sounds exactly the same. It's very repetitive, and... I mean, okay, so... Obviously, this is not meant to be an album. This is a collection of things. This is a collection of chants. A collection of spiritual things. Maybe my ears, I'm listening to it in the context of an album that I'm expecting songs to flourish and grow and change and the album to progress. That's probably where my mentality was coming from. But really, they're just chants and hymns that have been taken, and maybe they're meant to all sound the same. But as for diversity, I don't really think there's much diversity in this. For me, it has a cool wow factor the first time you hear one of these songs, and then you realise they're all the same. But again, this is not a new recording meant for modern times. This is all an archive stuff. It is purely a compilation of spiritual music and things that were played at the ashram. So it's not designed to be an album. It's not designed as a whole piece of a thing. So. I don't know. I don't know about this. That's all I'm going to say on that. Alright, this has gone on for a bit too long because I talk too much. Thank you for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'm not sure what my next video will be, but I'm thinking about showing my box of 7-inches. My 7-inch records. Alright, thanks guys. See ya. Bye.